am formally announcing my candidacy for Oklahoma State Labor Commissioner.
And what you're hearing there, Kathy Costello announcing her candidacy for Labor Commissioner come 2018. Kathy Costello, the widow of former Oklahoma Labor Commissioner Mark Costello. He was murdered 2 years ago. Kathy and Mark's son, Christian, who has a history of mental illness, is now charged with his murder. And we are joined now live by the now Labor Commissioner candidate, Kathy Costello. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Abigail, for having me. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Now, before we get into the announcement, the decision that you just made, just on a personal note, you know, I know your daughter and your family a little bit. How are you doing?
We are doing remarkably well.
Okay.
God is good. We are healing. We are moving forward. You know, we have been given two things in this life. That is the gift of life and the gift of time. And those two gifts have helped move us forward. We've had great support. We have a lot of faith. We have great faith. And God in his unique way can bring wonderful things out of tragedy, and we've embraced that.
Why did you decide, or when did you decide, I'm gonna take on this role as Labor Commissioner?
So what has happened to us, of course, I never would have asked for. Nobody would ask for this. But because of what has happened, it has put me in a unique position to help more people than I ever dreamed, I ever imagined possible. And I realized that just 10 weeks after the death of my husband, I testified before a Senate hearing committee. And I spent 45 minutes sharing my story for one reason, not for myself, not for my children, but to advocate for other Oklahomans. That advocacy ended up taking me across the state, and I began speaking to universities, nursing schools, educators, hospitals, doctors, nurses, counselors. And what I discovered in talking with families across the state of Oklahoma is that people have a common concern, one that Mark and I had. They have loved ones who suffer with mental illness, and one of the biggest challenges is the issue of employment. People with mental illness have difficulty staying employed. When you aren't employed, you lose your health insurance. When you lose your health insurance, you can't access a medication or services. That advocacy took me across the nation. I've been to Congress. I've helped pass a law there, as well as a law in Oklahoma. And so over the past 2 years, people have watched me advocating for people, and constantly over the past 2 years, people have said, you need to run, you need to run. The last few months and the last few weeks, I've been overwhelmed with calls. I'm in a unique position to help people. I'm excited to accept that challenge, and I know that I can in a very unique way.
You know, as you said, your son has a history of mental illness, and since your husband's death, you have become not just an Oklahoma advocate, but nationally an advocate for mental health reform. But what exactly does that have to do with the responsibilities of the Labor Commissioner?
So when you look at what a Labor Commissioner is called to do, you have to look at the title set for Labor Commissioner. We have Title 40, Section 1B1, which states that the Labor Commissioner shall foster, promote, and develop the welfare of the wage earner. That responsibility actually falls on the shoulders of the Labor Commissioner. In the Department of Labor, you are to protect the workforce in both body and mind. But the fact is, we have not been looking at the mental health side of the wage earner. And the reality is that the #1 reason for low workforce performance is actually mental illness. The #2 reason for absenteeism, mental illness, and it accounts for 30% of disability costs. And it's projected to be, in just 3 years, the leading cost and the leading reason for workplace disability will be mental illness. This absolutely follows under that umbrella. So I would like to start as your future Labor Commissioner, I promise to start a task force, the Costello Commission on Mental Health in the Workplace.
So what can be done about this, though?
Well, first of all, lifting the stigma, bringing together mental health advocates, human resource people to talk about how we can go out and work with employers, work with employees to educate them on what's going on in the workforce, what's going on with the people in their company, how we can maybe recognize signs of people that may be suffering depression or not showing up at work, and to reach out to them. We've got to lift the stigma. We are the second leading state in the union in mental illness, and it affects the workforce, which impacts our economy, which impacts it trickles down to other areas. It impacts the courthouse. It impacts the jail. It impacts DOC. It impacts hospitals, police, and emergency room visits. We've got to get ahead of this, but to have a healthy economy, we've got to have people working. And we have to look at not only the physical injuries that our workers suffer and try to reduce those injuries, but also the mental health issues.
There's no secret that you have a full plate right now.
Yes.
You have children.
Yes.
You are still dealing with kind of the legal process here. How can you ensure that you're going to be able to dedicate 100% of yourself, for 4 years to such a large responsibility as the labor commissioner?
Well, of my 5 children, my youngest just graduated from high school, and he's traveling all over Europe right now, taking a gap year.
Well, that's nice.
Yes, and we'll be working in Florida this winter to help save money for his own college education, because he grew up in a home with entrepreneurs who have been working for 46 years. I had my first business before I ever met Mark, which helped put me through college. My parents could not afford to put me through college, so I understand what it is like to be an employer and an employee. I've actually been the recipient of a workers' comp claim, and I've also carried workers' compensation for my business employees. So my kids are doing great. My kids are older. They're moving forward. One is recently married. One works professionally in New York City. My youngest son is doing great and already has a scholarship to attend the University of Dallas. He won't be staying in Oklahoma. So they're doing great. And in fact, my children have been encouraging me to do this for a long time. So everybody's on board. We're doing great. We're a family of faith, and we understand that the purpose in this life is to help others, to advocate for others. That's what brings the greatest satisfaction, the greatest healing. So we're excited. We're ready to go.
So they're on board with this?
Absolutely.
Lastly, we are running out of time, but you touched on your business and your background.
Yes.
That is one of the questions I received. What is your background? I know Mark was the labor commissioner since, what, 2010?
That is correct.
So you were the wife of the labor commissioner
Yes.
for quite some time. But what was your personal background?
So I've been an educator.
Okay.
I have a background in classical music and opera, and I do sing. And as I mentioned before, I started my first business in high school to put myself through college. We married. We opened our first business, American Eagle Builders. It was a siding and window company, and we started it with a card table and 2 folding chairs. I set appointments, did cold calls. I was the janitor, handled the books. Over the years, Mark and I developed those businesses into 8 businesses in 6 industries across the world. And I have a unique understanding now, because not only have I been a breadwinner that came home at the end of the day, took that money, cooked food, put it on the table, took kids to their activities, put them to bed at night, got up and did it all over again the next day. I am now a single parent.
Sure.
I am now the sole breadwinner in my household. So I relate to those families who are trying to work, create jobs, take care of their families. So I have a unique perspective from both sides, and I know that I can uniquely help Oklahoma workers move forward, protect them in their jobs. I understand job creation. I understand how wrong it is to overregulate businesses, because I've been a business owner, and so I'm excited to partner with businesses. I don't want them to feel pushed away by the Department of Labor, with extra fees and things like that. We need to be working with our workforce, and I understand it because I've been an entrepreneur.
Kathy Costello, regardless of what happens, I just want to say how blown away we've been with your strength and with your family.
You.
I mean, you guys have been through a lot. Like you said, nobody would ever ask for your situation.
Thank you, Abigail. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
We appreciate your time, and thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Like you
Thank
said,
you. And I'm excited. Please vote for me because of my vision for the future, not my tragedy of the past.
I like that. Thank you so much for your time, Kathy Costello.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Labor Commissioner candidate, 2018, KOCO 5 News.